keep in mind that the reason I'm providing this information is all about opportunity. Like, I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm just trying to get people ready to take advantage when the advantage comes across their table. Like, I'm trying to see everybody eat. I'm trying to see everybody, the money flow. I'm trying to see the money flow down and not stay stuck up with like a small percentage of people like it is. Like, basically the situation is pretty off balance. I want to see some more balance come back to this as far as money goes and the money flows. So you already know what it is. I'm just trying to increase the biz out here. I'm trying to see other people make passive income. I'm trying to see other people benefit from this. No fear, stay clear. So everything that goes on, you just got to hear the truth. Ignore the fake. All right, okay. Got something new for today. Got to talk about the housing market, as I would say. I think we're going to see some new opportunities here. Gonna look at all the greed and all the fear. Gonna look into what people see. Some of them say they see it right, and some of them say they don't see it clear. Gonna look into the really what the media is saying, really what kind of like historical facts from the past would show. Gonna talk about what I know, and gonna get right into it. So pretty much what I'm gonna talk about is what it's doing right now. Like what the housing market, what the situation is, really what the general media is saying about what's going on. Gonna look technical side of it, like technical analysis of the markets for housing. Also gonna look at what factors might come into play, buyers and sellers right now, rents and everything like that. And then I'm gonna get into really what I think the biggest factor is gonna be. So stay in tune for that a little bit later. If you think this is important, if you want to hear more like this, go ahead and subscribe. Coming to you with new information steady. So you got to be ready so you can get it right away, so you can hear what I got to say about topics when it comes to these opportunities that we're going to see right now. So you got to stay away from this fear, so a lot of people aren't going to see it clear. Fear going to cause you to make some bad decisions. Don't let that fear affect you. Just, no matter what, there's always going to be a new opportunity. Even if you missed the one yesterday, don't go ahead and make a bad decision and buy too late. If you miss it, just wait. Wait for the next one. Always going to be a new one. Don't get afraid and go and make a bad decision. So, going to get into my own vision on this, which starting out really, right now, spring is generally the biggest, most busiest season for home buyers and home sellers. Of course, right now that has changed. Like this, because of the situation that's going on right now. In fact, what we're seeing is that really a lot of people are not even attempting to sell their house right now. A lot of people are not going out and looking at houses. Thanks to digital technology, basically what's going on, a lot of people are attempting to sell their homes through 3D imaging and pictures, basically. But a lot of people aren't going to make an important decision like purchasing a house just off of pictures. And it's not really safe in a lot of people's opinions to go and be checking out a bunch of open houses and going out there and looking through the markets and everything like that. So really, not only are listings down, but buyers are not out buying. So that's going to make a big impact. So basically, since spring is the busiest time of that season, the biggest factor to this is how long is this going to last? How long are people going to be afraid to go out? How long are people going to be not really buying or selling? Because generally the markets really dip down as far as buyers and sellers once fall comes around. So, if everything kind of goes back to normal, the sooner the better as far as this whole situation, especially when it comes to people buying and selling. So, basically, looking into a lot of the mainstream media, they were pretty much bullish about the whole housing market, saying that this whole impact with everything that's going on wasn't going to affect housing at all. But as far as this last week, that whole tune has changed. Now the mainstream media is starting to say, well, Now we're starting to think that the housing market is going to take a big hit. Just yesterday, especially, is really when a lot of news articles started popping up talking about how this could be the worst crash in the housing market we've ever seen since the Great Depression, even bigger than 2008. Basically, I would have to say right now the media is very bearish, meaning the media is very negative about the outcomes of what's going to happen here with the housing situation, the housing market, and everything like that. So generally looking back, 2001 and 2008 crashes saw about a 25 to 35% decrease in housing prices. So, I mean, if we were to go off of that data, you know, this could be something similar to that. So anything more than that would be worse. I mean, obviously, but yeah, nobody really knows. Just got to see what happens. Anybody's guess right now. However, looking at technical analysis, looking at the housing market, looking at the prices, looking at the charts, what you can see is just like right before 2008, there was a really steep incline in a housing market, in the prices of houses. And this time what has happened too, since, you know, the recovery of the 2008 crash, is the housing market has gone up pretty fast, especially compared to things like inflation. The market's gone up quicker than inflation has. The market's gone up quicker than rents have gone up. And the market has also gone up, more importantly, quicker than people's wages have gone up. So anytime a market goes up, you know, too quick, there's gonna have to be some correction. So the question is, would there have been a correction even without this situation? And if that were the case, then basically it's just gonna make this worse. But nobody knows, like I was saying, you know, I'm just giving you the facts. I'm just giving you really the situation that we're seeing right now, and then I'll get into my opinion towards the end of this video. So one of the also very big factors right now is the Airbnb and house rental boom that we've seen over the past few years. So a lot of people have been buying up a lot of these houses for the purpose of renting them out through Airbnb. A lot of people also just buy houses to rent them out. So a lot of people, yeah, they don't even use Airbnb, they just rent them out. And they're not gonna get hit as bad as the people with the Airbnb right now, because Airbnb is just like the hotel industry, which is like non-existent right now. People aren't going to hotels, people aren't going to stay at Airbnbs. So, I mean, you know, these hotel industries, like, they can get bailed out. The government, I really doubt, is gonna bail out individual homeowners who have bought Airbnbs for people to rent out. So, you know, a lot of people, if they've got like, which is a lot of cases, people have gone and bought up like 10 to like 30 houses that they're renting out on Airbnb, which was no problem like a month ago or 2 months ago. But now nobody's going to be renting these properties. So how are these people going to pay their mortgages? So that means if that's the case, it won't be too long before a lot of these houses hit the market. A lot of these people are foreclosing. So now I'm going to get down to the main factor, really, unemployment. That's the main factor in all of this. So that's what it's all going to come down to, in my opinion. A lot of other people seem to say that that's the situation too, is unemployment. Because look at it at the end of the day, if people do not have jobs, how are they going to pay for their houses? A lot of houses are going to get foreclosed on. A lot of people are going to be out on the street just like back in 2008. So if people can't pay, really that's what it all comes down to. However, there's also this situation now where people can get forbearance on their houses. So basically people can, you know, get in a situation where they can stop paying their mortgage for up to a year. So, you know, at least that'll give people a little bit of leeway. So really all it comes down to is how long is this going to last? How bad is unemployment going to get? What's going to be the situation with people being able to pay their rent, you know? And this is pretty big for a lot of what happened after 2008 was a lot of people really weren't able to pay anymore. A lot of people had to switch from home buyers to renters, and the price of rent had gone way up since then, like really quick. I remember when I moved to a new city, maybe like 7 years ago, my rent was like $750. And within like 3 to 4 years, it had rose up to like $1,200 for the same place that really didn't have, any difference to it. So I saw like rental prices rise like way too quick. And I thought that was pretty ridiculous. I thought like, okay, there doesn't seem to be any logical explanation that these rent prices should be going up so much. Well, really what I found was a lot of people were just like, buying up all these rentals, rising up the price. People couldn't afford to buy houses. So in my opinion, people were just basically taking advantage of people that were down on their luck, because there were so many more people that couldn't afford houses. So that this created a market of so many more renters. So the people who had money were buying up more and more, multi-unit buildings, like these big apartment complexes, so they could charge people more and more money because they knew the situation. And I mean, that's a different situation in and of itself. So go ahead and comment if you have any experience with that. If you want to hear me do a separate video on just that. I'm really trying to do information that my audience wants to hear. I'm really trying to stay clear of anything that's nonsense, anything that's really not going to help anybody. I'm just always trying to provide value. So getting back to what I got to tell you about this situation with the housing market, is this all about unemployment? It's all about what's going to happen with that. How long is this going to last? People are lucky if they have like 3 to 4 months right now of savings that they can use to pay their mortgage, pay their rent, everything like that. So I mean, nobody knows how long this is going to last. There's a lot of conflicting information as far as how bad this is, how bad it's going to be. Some people are saying a couple weeks, some people are saying a couple months. There's even people saying that this is going to be like a year to a year and a half, but we never know. So we just got to go with the flow and see what happens. But keep in mind that the reason I'm providing this information is all about opportunity. Like, I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm just trying to get people ready to take advantage when the advantage comes across their table. Like, I'm trying to see everybody eat. I'm trying to see everybody, the money flow. I'm trying to see the money flow down and not stay stuck up with like a small percentage of people like it is. Like, basically the situation is pretty off balance. I want to see some more balance come back to this as far as money goes and the money flows. So you already know what it is. I'm just trying to increase the biz out here. I'm trying to see other people make passive income. I'm trying to see other people benefit from this. No fear, stay clear. So everything that goes on, you just got to hear the truth. Ignore the fake. Just yesterday, as I'm recording this, a lot of these housing stocks have gone down. And what these housing stocks I'm referring to are big companies like Zillow and Redfin, who end up buying up, they have like sites on the internet where they kind of like are realtors, like they're showing off houses. Well, what they do is they generally buy up a lot of houses, but they have stopped doing that recently. And that's really caused like big, massive drops in their stock prices. So really, how far is this going to continue? Because these guys are the main buyers of houses out here. So if they stop, then that's really going to bring the market down. Yeah, watch out for that too. Like, it's not only the real estate income opportunities that are out here right now, but the real estate stocks that are going to be a huge opportunity and already are starting to be. The only question is, how much are they going to drop? Are they going to keep continuing to drop? Are they going to spike back up? Nobody knows. I mean, that's the thing. Like, looking at the situation, it was only like a week or two ago where all the mainstream media and the government was saying like, oh, everything's going to be like rebound, everything's going to spike back up. The Fed's going to put all this money back into everything and everything's going to be all right and it'll just be back to normal real quick. Well, everything started to go back up, but now it's right back down to where it was. So I'm wondering that if all this money is going into these markets, it's not really reflecting. Either it's not reflecting, either the money stopped going back into the markets and they changed their tune about that, or either people decided that it's going to be a lot worse and they took advantage of this extra money coming back in and they just started selling again. Either way, nobody knows. We're going to have to wait and see. But it's going to be a lot of opportunities out here for you and me. So yeah, that's about all I got for today. Hope you got some value out of what I had to say. Trying to bring you new information with no delay. Trying to bring you value. Hope you got something good off of what I had to tell you. So if you haven't already, go ahead and smash up the likes. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. if you haven't already, because I'm bringing new information in steady, gotta say it again. So gonna be here from the beginning to the end through all this, gonna help hopefully a lot of people get rich, get some income so they don't have to be scraping low. So there's so much out here for you and me, that's what I know. So yeah, I'm out for today. That's it. Done.